Hi and welcome to another SPARCK tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how to use SPARCK for virtual reality environments. I'm standing here in the middle of the Immersive Lab, an idea conceived by Daniel Biesig and Jan Schacher at the Institute of Computer Music and Sound Technology at the ZHDK, Zürcher Hochschule der Künste in Switzerland. The Immersive Lab has got 4 back-screen projections, 16 audio channels and an infrared-based touchscreen system. But in this tutorial I just want to focus on the visual aspects, on how to set up a curved screen that represents a virtual window into another reality. So let's just step into it. Okay, I'm sitting now at the desktop. First thing I do is start up SPARCK. I tell it to create a new project. Here is a warning that I need to save it in its own folder, otherwise I'm messing things up. So I'm going to save it on the desktop, create a new folder, SPARCK projects, and I'm going to call this one here Immersive. Press save. With this I have created this folder structure which is going to be filled with content during this tutorial. So next thing is I'm going into Blender. Let's see where the Blender is. Blender is here. Selecting all the objects. You can see here which keys I'm going to press. Pressing, then select A, Shift A, go for cylinder. Change here the vertices to 34, radius 1.5 meters, depth 1.54. That's so good. Look from the top, orthogonal view, press tab, go into edit mode, select the face, delete this one, select the second face, delete that one, and now I have a cylinder. Now what I also need is the entrance, so I'm just going to select one vertex and I'm going to do this like this. No, a bit too quick. Vertices, that's that. Next thing, again inside edit mode, I go over here to loop, cut and slide, and I make 4 cuts. Press the left mouse button twice, press A twice in order to select all vertices and switch over to UV editing. Go over with the mouse over here, press U, unwrap, and over here, down here, I'm going to select 2D cursor, so all the transformations are done in regards to the 2D cursor. Press S, Y, so we scale it in the Y axis. SY. Here we go. So it's UV wrap now as well. Switch back to default. And I'm going to name it Lab Screen. I'm looking at it from the front. I go into edit mode. And I first move it up to make sure that the lower rim is on the 0. So I'm going to grab set and I'm going to move it 77 centimeters upwards. So it's now down here. And actually the rim of the cylinder is a bit further up. So again, grab it, set 0.67 centimeters. And last but not least, I'm going to go to scale the object to its proper dimension. I'm going to do this here. The Z axis is going to be 3.25 meters. The Y axis it's 3.55 meters. So it's a slightly oval shaped object, and I'm going to go and apply the scale. So Now here I have the screen as one object, but I also need the screen as 4 objects. So for each projector needs its own screen. So I'm going to duplicate with Shift D, move this duplication over to another layer, go over here, press 7 to have a look at it from the top view, tab, edit mode, A, deselect all vertices, B, and mouse dragging. I'm selecting now the first quadrant of the whole screen, which is taken care of by the first projector, and I press P and say separate by selection, and I keep on repeating this process. P. Important thing is when you do this, that here this icon is grayed, not dark gray, light gray. This makes sure that we actually are selecting all vertices, even those that we don't see, especially those that are behind those vertices. Again, B, P, and we have now 4 lap screen. Actually, if I press Z, I go into the different display modes, and now I can see all those four screens. So what I'm going to do is I'm selecting the first one. Now unfortunately they are numbered in an awkward way. Actually I would like to number them. This one here is 1. Let's see if I can do that. This one here would be 4. So I have a clockwise numbering. This one is 3. This one should be 2. And this one should be 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Select this one here, the first one, and go to Export Wavefront. Drag it up a little bit so I can see what we're doing. First go to my Projects folder, Models. It's going to be saved inside Calibs. Selection only, apply modifier is cool, write normals, yeah, that's okay, but no materials please. Then forward is minus y set up, that's okay. And what we can do is we can actually store this setting somehow, so we can say, okay, this is our Spark export setting. So whenever we get back here, we get those selections. And then here I'm saying screen 01 and export it. So I'll leave it with this for the moment. I'm going to save also the blend file. I'm saving it inside the same space. So everything is together. And now I can go back to Spark and switch it on. And first thing, I'm going to create an output node like this. Here's the output node, and here you see the 4 coordinates where the node, where the output window should be placed. If I switch it over to output, now you see it has no rims anymore, and it is in the coordinate system, which is 0 is up here. It's 100 100 by 420, and 340 is the y. However, this is not really where we want to have it. We want to have it somewhere else. Actually, we have here a triple head attached, and additionally a separate projector. And we want to span the whole window over the whole side. And you notice my displays here, they are on the left hand side of my display. It is the best place because the coordinate system 0 is up here. And if I change the display size, it won't have any effect on this coordinate system. If I do it the other way around and I decide to give the display a different resolution in order to take some strain away from the graphics card if the graphics card has some speed problems. Then the settings wouldn't fit anymore, so that's why I prefer the left-hand side. Say store and close, and now if I send the output, it's actually being output onto the 4 projectors. What I also like to do at the beginning, I like to add a grid, switch on the grid, and now switch on the stage view. Here we see the grid, so actually we have a reference on how to we're moving inside the 3D world. Next thing, we're going to create an actual calibration node, calibrator, switch it on, it's already here, and we're going to load a screen object. And now we see here, this is the first screen object. If I press edit, not much is happening. What I'm going to do is I'm slightly changing the color of the whole thing, like this, a bit lighter. And I want to see the output of the whole thing, so I'm also creating a viewport node. The viewport node, you tell it which is the output, which the output is. And actually the output needs to be split into 4 columns because we've got 4 projectors. And in here we tell it that it should output to the output slice, row 1, column 1. And we're going to connect this down here. And now that's cool. So now first thing. The next thing is we're going to step into the immersive lab ring and see how the whole calibration process looks like when we stand in front of a projector. Okay, I'm now in front of the projector, and first thing I have to send the output window to the projector, so I press desktop. Now I see the information is now on the screen, and now the trickiest aspect of the whole thing comes to play, and I get into Calibrator, and I'm going to turn around here my projector, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around until I get this center vertex here. I decided that this vertex is going to be my origin vertex. Now we don't really see the help files too much, so it's kind of a tricky balance to get the right color here. If I press H, I can switch on and off the help. So first thing is I'm going to create with O an origin vertex, that's that. And then I'm pressing Tab, selecting this newly created origin vertex, press G, and now I'm moving it on my screen to the position where it's supposed to be, which is down here. You should see it now, how it is down here. With the arrow keys I can make some slight adjustments, and then once I set that one, I press O again, and now this is set as the origin one. Then I'm going to scale down the whole thing, make me possible to see all the vertices here. So I'm going to scale it up a little bit. Further, and maybe turn around until I see all the vertices. Now I see all the vertices. This is cool. Now, important thing here is to see that my projector, it's actually a real projection, so I have to make sure that my projector is actually projecting from the same side as I'm projecting, otherwise I won't find a calibration solution. So what I will have to do is I will have to turn around with azimuth, And now you can see what this origin vertex actually is doing. It's actually the pivot point of all the transformations I'm doing here. So everything turns around this origin vertex. So this way, actually, I make sure I'm not losing any more the whole thing. So I'm looking at it from the back side. I'm moving here the polar angle until I'm here. So I'm resizing the stage view again a little bit. And now I'm going to select all those vertices. I go back into model mode. And all those vertices I want to use as well. So I press just V, 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 V. So that's that. So I created new 5 new target vertices. I go into the target mode, and now I can select one vertex and drag it to its place. Now, what I'm doing here now, I'm supposed to move this target one up here. However, there's a caveat. If I look here at this vertex, when I select this vertex here, which is on the screen, the upper left. On the editor, it's the upper left, but here on my stage view, it's the upper right. And that is a warning sign. If this is not matching, in this case, it actually means that we have to put the projector into mirror mode. The reason we have to put the projector into mirror mode is because the projector actually is projecting via mirror, so we actually see the mirror image here projected onto the back to the back projection. We have to correct that one, so I quickly change this. Go to menu, setting. Okay, now as confusing as it seems, if I'm now selecting this target model, target vertex again, I have to go into target mode, grab it again. Now I'm inside editor, I'm on the left upper corner on the projection, I'm on the right upper corner, but you shouldn't forget, I'm actually looking from the position of the projector, so I'm looking from the back side when I modify the editor. And now I'm just placing this one here up there in this corner, make it slightly, and I repeat this process with each of those targets. So grab left. You see here, this is the shadow of one of the speakers. There's not much we can do about that one. It's just in the way. Down here. Okay. And the last one is the middle one here. Grab it to the center where it's supposed to be. It's up here. Okay, that's that. And now the next step, press here this little nail symbol, and I open the solver, do the same thing. And what I can do now is I'm going to start the solver, and the solver is trying to find now the accurate position of the projector that would give the result I just gave as a target. This can take a short while, depending how complex is it. The problem is you give it to him. Usually after 5 minutes you should have a reasonable solution. In the meanwhile, I can continue with the other 4 projectors. By now I set the targets for all the projectors. You see here now the result of screen 1. It is not as perfect as it could be, but then again the model we created is not a very accurate model of the screen itself. It's an idealized cylinder. The real screen is everything but an ideal cylinder. It is actually has some bends in it which are quite hard to model. We are going to make all those corrections in the next part of this video. Now we can see how these two projectors are still trying to solve. I'm going to quickly get the output window onto my desktop so I can, so if I switch over, you can see here now how it looks for all the different screens. They're slowly getting there, maybe with the exception of the third screen, which also has some issues, but I mean they are only about 13 pixels away from where they're supposed to be. So I can stop it here. And the next step, I'm closing here the solvers again. I'm going to save all the targets. So I'm going to go in here. This is targets for Beamer 1. Save those. Beamer, this is Beamer 2. Okay. Now with this done, I'm closing here those settings as well. And I'm going to save them again here. Again, the same thing. Beamer 01. These are actually the results which we're going to use in the next part of the video. Beamer 1. That's quite a task. So now all those settings here are saved as well, and last but not least I'm also saving the whole project. And with this we can actually step over to the next part.